Good fucking riddance. So, hello everybody. It's the end of 2020. Finally. So in case you're new around here, this is the ceremonial boring update video that I do at the end of every year, where I just sort of look back over what I did this year and highlight the stuff that I enjoyed doing and talk about how I'm going to use that and build it into the next year's content. These are unscripted and they're as much for my benefit as they are for yours, because it gives me an opportunity to just sort of see where I'm at mentally, because I'm a busy guy and I don't have that much time to sit down and properly plan out where I'm going next, so these are usually quite helpful. So I think that everyone can probably agree that the best video that I made this year was that one about that shit Netflix dating show where I do a topless version of my avatar. Buy me a drink and maybe I'll show you the totally naked version that I was going to use a pixelated version of before chickening out at last minute. I'm not joking, I was going to do that. I think the best way to structure this video would be to talk primarily about the people that I have to thank for helping me to make content this year and making this year in any way bearable, because without these people, fuck this year. First up is Exci. Jay has been instrumental in He Who Moans this year, because you may have, if you watched my boring update video from last year, you may have got the impression that I was really drifting away from Doctor Who, and I made that editorial in 2019 about how I wasn't even sure whether I wanted to watch season 12 or not. Yes, yeah. Is anyone else finding it really, really weird that season 12 of Doctor Who was this year? Like, seriously, so much has happened this year, and it was 2020 that it aired. So I was basically making noises about not really covering Series 12 in any real depth, and that was when Jay messaged me asking whether, if you're not interested in doing full dissective reviews of Doctor Who this year, how about we just do some streams together where we watch the episodes, talk about it in an informal manner, and just see what comes out. And obviously I leapt at the idea because, Jay is lovely. I was probably going to end up watching Doctor Who anyway, so why not? And it was Jay's enthusiasm that got me to go, oh my god, He Who Moans still has life in it, and so I ended up getting so invested in it that I did end up making those Doctor Who Series 12 reviews, and I got really into it for the couple of months that it was on the air. I mean, I don't think Series 12 is very good, of course, but even though I said at the time, and still maintain the position, that the reason that I was getting so into it was Doctor Who actually bothered setting off some fireworks this year, the main reason that I've done so much He Who Moans this year is thanks to Jay. Jay basically breathed new life into He Who Moans, because Jay's enthusiasm for the topic it's just infectious, and so Jay, if you're watching, thank you so much. You're gonna have to wait for my cat to stop to finish using the litter tray. You done yet? Yeah, she's done. The next person I have to thank this year is someone very special to me. It's obviously Ms. Council of Geeks. Not just because she makes amazing content, obviously, but also because of the help that she offered me in one of my videos this year, which I was really, really struggling with. So I was basically making noises over the course of the year in my Patreon exclusive update vlogs, where I was throwing around the idea of doing a video in the same vein as my Brexit videos, but about the coronavirus pandemic, where I treat it as if it's just a TV show. But I was so nervous about that idea, because even though I had jokes, the jokes just sort of kept on coming. Basically, the idea for this video existed pretty much from the start of the pandemic, and people started messaging me, asking me whether I was going to do something about it in mid-March, I think it was. And I was really, really nervous about doing it. I was still writing jokes, unsure whether I was going to be able to use any of it, because, it's incredibly close to home and it could be seen as incredibly tasteless, and I wasn't really sure if I was comfortable with it. But then, as the weeks went by, it was starting to become an inevitability that I would do this video sooner or later, although I was still really, really nervous about it. And then, God bless her, she messaged me asking me whether I would be interested in her take on the American remake of coronavirus that was happening overseas, and that was what pushed me forward and gave me made me feel brave enough to put this video together, and it was some of the most fun I've had working on a video this year. And finally, obviously, I have to talk about Robert Shearman. Basically, we've been friends since about 2016 or thereabouts, and we've meeting up in pubs to have chats about Doctor Who, writing, short stories, the industry, things like that over the course of those years. And I had always had this idea in the back of my head of putting together some sort of interview podcast type thing. Basically, I wanted to try and capture one of those informal, friendly little pub chats with Rob and share it with you guys, because my friendship with Rob has just been incredible. I still cannot believe that I get to be friends with my favourite writer. Like, how often does that happen? Rob's also had a major impact on this channel and the content and basically everything that I've been writing over the last couple of years, because he's been the one who's been pushing me into writing darker and more emotionally honest work than I've ever written before, and that led to Merry Easter, which, yeah, seriously, that is probably the best video that I made this year, and one of the videos that I've made that I'm the most proud of. Merry Easter was a very personal video for me. I'm really glad that I did it, and I would like to do more story type videos like that, where I just take a short story that I've written and adapt it for a visual medium. Because I have been writing a lot of short fiction over the last couple of years, and as I said, it's much more emotionally honest short fiction than I've ever written before. I've been writing lots of really, really dark personal things over the last couple of years, and not all of it's suited to my stickmen, scratchy, sketchy MS Paint style, but some of it is, and I would quite like to do more story videos in the new year, because I would like some more original fiction vehicles in the new year now that I've finished Class, which I'm pretty sure that is the end of Class. I may return to it and do some more school-related stories in the future, but I am pretty sure that's the end of it. Although I have been thinking about doing a semi-sequel series set in a bizarre office block that's overseen by the Living Flesh supercomputer, as hinted at in that final shot from Careers Advice. In terms of review-type content, He Who Moans obviously will continue, although it will continue on a more ad hoc basis than before. Basically, whenever I feel like talking about something, I'll talk about it. I don't really want to push myself into doing something if I don't feel like doing it. So basically, whenever, like, say, an episode of Classic Who crosses my mind, I'll end up putting together a video about it. And obviously, I'm going to have to talk about that new episode of Doctor Who that's airing on the 1st of January. And it's Chris Chibnall attempts to do political satire again. Yeah, playing to his strengths, isn't he? In terms of other review type content, I've been thinking about doing some sort of regular strand where I review specific episodes of classic British TV comedies, because occasionally there is, like, one episode of something which enters the cultural discourse. Like, there was that big controversy over that episode of Fawlty Towers, The Germans, earlier this year, which I've been thinking about doing a video on, because it's a really interesting cultural artefact, so expect a video about that at some stage. I also ended up writing a video that I haven't finished about the Brass Eye special, P-Degeddon, because, you know, obviously I, like the rest of you, was stuck in quarantine for most of the year, so I mostly ended up just binging on loads of classic British TV comedies that I'm a huge fan of, and Brass Eye in particular was a huge influence on me, and this episode in particular, because it's such a difficult topic and it handles it so well. Another thing I'd like to continue doing is TV dissection, because I have really enjoyed doing that this year. I know it's shooting fish in a barrel, but there's just something that I find really fun about taking something which is openly trash and trying to analyse how it works, and trying to generate sketches off the back of some stupid nebulous point I'm trying to make. I have a few more scripts of them in the pipeline, and I would like to try and branch them out into some more controversial choices, because I've ended up writing the script for the TV dissection on Skins. Yeah, that's been a long time coming. Looking forward to the shouting matches that are going to occur over that one. I also have this idea for a long, leisurely video about shit Netflix original movies, because you know that Netflix were having this major problem where their original movie brand was just seen as, you know, trash. Up until we have Netflix original movies that are actually good, like The Irishman, but they are still putting out really, really shit original movies, and there were 2 this year which got a 0% critical appraisal on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, shamefully, I was one of the people who watched 365 Days and kept it in the Netflix trending for months on end. It actually made me really nostalgic for the early days of this channel, where some of you might remember I did this series where I did chapter-by-chapter reviews of 50 Shades of Grey. Oh my god, I'm nostalgic for 50 Shades of Grey. 2020, everybody. So yeah, that's about where I am at the moment. Those are my ideas in the pipeline. I am probably still going to be working at this sort of low level where I can only really get 1 or 2 videos out every month, because as said, I am a busy guy, I have a lot on, and I'm going to have a lot more on in 2021 because, yeah, don't think I've told you guys about this. I am going to be using the money that lots of lovely people have been giving to me on Patreon over the years on a 6-month filmmaking course at the London Met Film School, because I want to improve my abilities as a filmmaker because, you know, I'm an amateur on YouTube. I want to learn how to do this shit properly. So you see, I am using the money that the lovely people on the internet are giving me responsibly. I'm using it to improve my skills. I am not funneling it into a secret cocaine habit. No, I'm not. Anyone who says that is a liar. So yeah, I think all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing to my channel, and extra special thanks to the lovely people on Patreon who've been chucking me their money over the course of this year. I hope I've made your year a bit more bearable, and God, I hope 2021 is better. It fucking has to be, right? So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy New Year. God, it's got to be a Happy New Year.